Hello, everyone. I have returned for some more adventures in Norath. I logged on to Jebonabee, and I thought, well, I haven't shown you guys what it's like to get to the location you're going from, the Isle of Refuge.
Well met.
And so I figured I would go ahead and get over to the crafting part of this and show you how that goes. I've just come off the docks, meeting Rondo, the belly-round stew, the halfling mentor there. All right, so he says, hello there, friendly friend. Did I say we're friends already? He says, of course we are. You just offered to buy me a pint, if I'm not mistaken. Ha! You're the friendly sort, I can tell. And so am I. Perfectly matched to be pals, I'd say. Halflings like us need to stick together, wouldn't you say? Oh, definitely. Hold on just a moment here. I gotta send Bugajoa a guild invite. There we go. All right. Now, Rondo says, yes, you look like you've been around long enough to know that's important. I've got two friends who could use your help. One of them is here in the Baubbleshire, and the other is out in the forest ruins. Obviously, the forest ruins will present a bit more danger. What do you say? And I say, I'd like to do what I can to help the Baubbleshire. He says to start, you can find my friend Mela. The poor lass has been emotional support for myself and countless other halflings more times than I can count. The thing is, I don't think anyone's ever taken the time to listen to her problems. I think she would feel bad about asking, and whenever I try to help, she backs away. She needs an outlet. And I say, I will try to help her. Alright, so now we went ahead and picked that up because it's right here on the docks. But the primary focus of what I'm doing at the moment is going to be the crafting. In this zone, we're in Baubbleshire right now, and in this zone, the crafting area is over here. That being said, I better probably visit the bank, and while I'll show you the crafting area, I think where I'm actually going to craft is going to be in the guild house, because that's going to be a much more pleasant location for me to craft in. I'm not going to get distracted. That's what I say for the moment. We'll see if that happens or not. We've got the
The answer
banker
to
over
your
here,
question is no.
and
I'm afraid we don't extend lines
so I'm
of
going to
credit
try
at
to
this time.
get some of these items out of here to throw into the depot, and then I'm going to. I have no idea why I threw the rodent meat in here. Obviously, I was just clearing bags quickly, because that's one we're just going to sell. But certainly I can pick up some of these harvested things. And let's see, laced spike. Do I want that? I don't know. Let's see what it looks like, and if it looks any kind of cool. It kind of doesn't, so probably I'm just gonna sell that one to a vendor. This is a pirate skull used for spawning the Gurok. Obviously, that's no longer going to be important for this character, and because I'm being more of a minimalist on this server than I am on the regular server, I'm definitely gonna throw that one away because I don't need it at this time. I have some things here that I'll ultimately put on the broker and sell. Since I'm not doing that right now, I'm just going to toss them into here. These are, this is some drink, so I'll keep that on me for now. I'm going to need to have enough room to get some fuel, because even though I'm going to go craft in the guild house, I'm still going to need, some fuel. And it occurs to me I may as well go ahead and replace my bags at this point with some better bags. So one way you can do that very easily is you take the bag and you drag it to the slot that that you want it to be in. So even if there's already another bag here, see, there's this sapsual hip sack right here. I want to have a bigger bag than a 5 slot, obviously. So I come over here and I see that I have this 16 slot hanging out. So I will drag my 16 slot bag and I'll just drag it right onto that bag. And you'll see what it did there is it replaced it with that bag and it put that bag inside this bag. So now I have the sapsual hip sack there, which I'll drag to the bank because that's a better location for it than these tiny bags I have. I have a few more of those, so I'm just going to go ahead and replace the ones that are currently in my inventory with these 14 slot bags that are sitting in my bank. And then you can just hit the B button to open all the bags back up instead of having to open them up one by one. And then I'm going to take some of these old bags and just toss them here in the bank, and they can have a little bit more of a useful life for a little while before I come across something that I like better. So I'm going to throw all that in. Then I'm going to take these things and I'm going to auto bank them, and it's going to throw them into the bags. And I'm just going to do that with a lot of things right now because, again, I don't want to deal with the broker at the moment. I'm just going to try to clear some space and then go do some crafting. Big plans. I'll take these and take them to the house because they're going to need to be deposited into the depots ultimately. And because I don't like the way that is and how I'll lose some things within those bags if they look like this, I'm going to go ahead and sort them so that it'll all be together in its like things together, So there we go. All right, now I'm ready to go buy some fuel so that I can go to the house and do some crafting. So first thing we do is we hop over to the deductive directory over here. And I also am going to have to find, you know what, may as well stop at the mender. Don't need to mend anything, but it's always a good idea to check because I find that sometimes you don't realize that you need to mend until you do. So better to check along the way. Now, here we are, and we have our trade skill task fellow right here. This is going to update our quest. Quest in question is seeking a trade skill profession. So this would be the delegate of the Trade Skill Society. You can find one in no matter which suburb you're in. Just go to your local trade skill instance, which will, in Keynotes, it all looks like a little cellar opening, right? And there'll be one in every suburb. And whichever one you're in, you can go to that and speak to the guy there. This one is Keslek Cogturner, so we're going to talk to him. All right, now you'll see that he says, "Hello there, what can I do for you?" All right. He also opens up this merchant window because if somehow you have lost your beginning trade skill profession quest starter, or maybe you never picked it up to start with when you were on the island, then you can buy it from him for 7 silver and 20 gold, which is a little chunk for this level, but it's affordable. You can do it. So you turn that in, and he gives you Artisan Essentials Volume 3. You'll recall we got Artisan's Essentials Volume 2 when we picked up the book initially on the island. So we got that update, got our reward. We don't need this starting a trade skill profession starter because we already have it. Now, I'm going to say I would like some training. That starts me on seeking a profession 2, which is the next quest in our journey to get the Artisan's Tunic. He says, "Training, eh? Good to hear. Willing, able-bodied citizens are sometimes hard to find. Craft items, you will either need to head out and harvest the raw materials on your own, or you might be able to buy them off the wholesaler downstairs. To get started, let us start with the most important thing in life, food and drink. Provisioners are chefs and brewers, applying their culinary skills to provide a valuable service for the benefit of their allies. Food and drink refresh the weary hero and can provide regenerative benefits. To sample a taste of provisioning, please create a fried frog leg and then return to me. And I say I will start on that now. It would be easier if you had the materials on you. Just do that right here and come back. It's very fast. But I don't have the materials on me, and I don't. Well, okay, you know what? I may have the materials for that. Maybe I'll do that. Let's see here. A fried frog leg. If I can type properly, this will work out. So we go to a fried frog leg, and we see that I don't have any frog leg. I don't have any dough, which is bought from this salesman down there. I don't have any walnut kindling. I would need all of those things in order to make this fried frog leg. So that obviously can't happen. I'll have to go buy the necessary ingredients. Let's see here. First, sneezing, because sneezing is what I'm doing today. Sneezing and sniffling between the two. Alright, let's see here. We need some dough. I'm not interested in buying a lot of it, so I'll just buy what I need for this one combine. Let's see, I need a walnut kindling. And we only need one walnut kindling to make this recipe. So here we go. Buy one of those. Now, I could, rather than running over to the guild house, I could go ahead over to the broker instead and see if there's any cheap frog legs. Because you know what? If they're cheap enough, then not. Sorry, frog leg is what I needed to type. But 3 silver is a little steep for a frog leg, so no, not gonna do that. I'd actually rather go gather it than that. But all things considered, I'm going to leave here, go over to the Willow Wood where our guild house is, and go do the crafting over there as I had initially intended. I'm going to steadfastly ignore the fact that there's a quest update right there, because if I get distracted doing other quests, then I'm never going to get this crafting done in this video. So have to focus here. Alright, so we come travel within Kinos. I'm going to go to the Willow Wood. Now I should be able to update in this crafting instance just as easily as I could update in the Baubbleshire crafting instance. Oh look, there's Pristine. We'll hail him as we go by. I don't currently have a house, also don't currently want one, so just gonna keep going by that over to our guild house. Hey Lacromas, how are you doing? By the way, I finally figured out the whole following other people thing. And so I'm following you, and I went through my other followers to see who all has their own streaming channels on Twitch. And I tried to follow everyone who did. I actually was trying to just follow everyone at first in case they do streaming at some later time, but unfortunately, that is not the way that went, because apparently you can reach a limit very quickly on how many channels you follow. Yeah. Oh yeah, no problem. One fun thing that I've just discovered is that we only have the one crafting table in the guild house. I somehow forgot that, so that's okay, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up all of the level 0 stuff, like a stack of each of it, and that way I'll have everything I need when I go back to the crafting instance in a second. deep thoughts going on here. Well, I don't need the copper clusters. What am I doing? Anyway, one stack of each of the things should get me a long way toward being able to make level 10 crafter, I would think, on here. Got a little overflow on some of this because I already had some, so toss that back in. Don't need to take up extra room. Yeah, I had a look at one of the videos you had on there, the Chromus. I think you were streaming this morning, possibly when I was looking. I'm gonna dump this back in, and then you can see here. I'll sort my inventory so it's very clear exactly how much room you're gonna need to have an entire stack of everything. I have 2 stacks of roots basically here. I'm gonna go ahead and keep those simply because roots are used to make so many things. So I'll keep those in spite of putting most of the things back that were excess. All right, so that should be enough to get me a good ways along, if not all the way, then at least a lot of the way along toward level 10. So I'll leave the guild house now and I'll pop back down to the TradeSkill instance here in Willow Wood. And then I'll go try to make that frog leg. Now, let's see, where is the crafting room for the Dovin keg? It may be this one, it may not. Ah, no. Yes, it is. Good job, me. Good job. Alright, the memory works occasionally, and I never know when it's going to kick in, so here we are. Alright. Before we start this, we're going to go to our trade skills window, alright? Now, fried frog leg. We have everything we need, and we'll click begin. Well, you know what? First and foremost, I'll stick on this maintain thing. I didn't even notice that I got my set recall point, so that's actually the thing that you can click and determine where your call to your home is going to be. I'm going to take it off of my hotbar because that's something I can access from my knowledge window and not clutter up my my hotbars with. Alright, now, for real, I'm going to start on this fried frog leg now. Alright, so as you can see, we have awareness. I don't know if we have... Okay, there's the constant heat, and there's seasoning. So, ideally, we want those to be together. We're going to organize by category across for now, because we only have this one level, and that's going to stick our stuff all together. And I will craft from the knowledge window. That's generally my preferred place to craft from on this server. At this point in the game, you could craft from the crafting window itself, down here, these bars below, but I don't want to get into the habit of that because later on we will out-level those, and we'll have to craft from the knowledge book anyway, so it's better when you're starting, well, it's better the whole time to just craft from the knowledge book, or if you're feeling bold, you can drag your icons from that screen onto your hotbars. However, as you're leveling, you do have to remember to update those if you choose to do that. I just ran right by the TradeSkill guy, but here he is. Now, in the other place, we had a different dude. Here we have the towel with dark cloud. It doesn't matter which one you update with. They're all going to update your quest. So there you go. All right. So that was instantly up to level 4. You see, very quickly gained those levels. We're going to go ahead and accept this reward. And when you do, be sure that we scribe the books that we get along the way. Because of course we're going to need those. So the recipes in them will be used for the further quests. So we'll accept this quest, and they say, excellent work. When you have reached the 4th rank of professionalism, you will be able to purchase new recipe books and learn from them. Grab the Artisan Essentials Volume 4 recipe scroll if you haven't already. We will now see if you have the chops to be an alchemist. They create deadly poisons and magic potions from almost any material, benign or otherwise. These concoctions provide benefits in battle, such as replenishment for the part or extra damage against a foe. To begin, go craft a potion. Bring me a lesser noxious remedy. And I say I'll start on that now, but first, we want to sort of look for that in our recipe book, because we need to see what kind of fuel component we need. We need a candle to do alchemy. You're always going to use the same basic thing. So for the food, you saw that we used the walnut kindling. For food, you're always going to use some kind of kindling. That's just what you start with. But as time goes on, you'll have different kinds of kindling that you'll use. And we want to see actually also how many we need for this recipe, because I don't want to fill my bags up with a bunch of fuels that I'm not going to use. So we're going to get 1 candle for this. I mentioned yesterday that on live I have a player-made book that has all of the crafting quests in it, up to around level 80 at least, very thoroughly written. But I don't have it on my person because it's on Majdoul. If I did, it actually, I've listed out exactly how many of each item you need for this quest line. So you'd pick up this many of the fish you need, and that many of, you know, of the walnut kindling, and this many of the aerated mineral water. So it's, if you're going to do the entire Artisan's Tunic quest line, I actually have the amount of materials that you need to complete that on there. But like I said, I don't have access to that right now as it's not in my hand. So, alas, I'll just have to do this one by one, and that's fine. Alright, so we made that very easily. Now we go and speak to the TradeSkill delegate. Right now, all we have in our knowledge book is the increases to progress. We don't have the durability yet, I don't think. Now we've got level 5. I haven't been showing you what's in these books. Probably I should. That way you'll have some idea of what you're looking at. So this is Artisan Essentials Volume 5. It's all going to be common, the common handcrafted stuff. So you won't see any of the adepts or master type stuff or expert stuff. It's just going to be like your basic stuff. So we have Abate, Arcane Bindings, Binding Light, Braveness, Brilliant Blade, Cabbage Pop, Chain, Courage, Deer Sandwich, Diversion Blade, Elm Strongbox, Forged Tin Knuckles, Generic Elm Bed, Ukta Bucket, Hesitate, Kick, Natural Mask, Protection of the Willow, Rawhide Leather Sheath, Runic Mark, Shrouded Attack, Side Blade, Slice, Sneak Attack, Tailored Rawhide Fist Wraps, Tailored Rawhide Leather Shoulder Pads, Tailored Threadbare Shawl, Tin Chainmail Bracers, and Tin Chainmail Mantle. Now, a side note about these strong boxes. You might look at them and think, hey, these would be great to use in the bags because they're much larger than a bag of its level. So a strong box holds more things than a bag of the same level holds. Unfortunately, these have weight. And if you read the description here, it says carrying a strong box or other big box will slow the carrier when in inventory outside a city or house zone, which is actually a kindness compared to the way that it actually was during this time period. Everything had weight, and you could definitely become weighted down, and it would be very difficult to move. You'll see the same thing happen if you put a strong box in your bags and you go outside of this city. You're not going to be moving very fast. If you're in the city, it's going to let you move around at normal speed. But you step out onto the docks, and all of a sudden you are a snail. So, just a word to the wise: don't run around outside of the cities with strong boxes in your bags. All right, now we're on seeking a profession 4 at this point. He says, "Well done. Going from one side of the arcane to another, let us now focus you on the path of a sage. Sages possess an unsurpassed knowledge of the arcane. They apply this knowledge by scribing combats, arts, and spells onto scrolls that increase the might of adventurers. Show me that you can scribe an arcane bindings." All right. So I'll say, yes, sounds great. Go to my recipe book and type in arc bin, because that's an easy way to find it. And I note from that I did not actually scribe my Arcane Essentials Volume 5. So there we go, scribe it. Here we are, and we need 5 incense. All right, that's easy to do. 5 incense from this dude right down here. And so you can see that if you decide to be a sage, then you're going to be using incense. 5 of them to be specific. We can go by quantity and do 5, accept, and there it is, all at one go. Ah, where am I going? It's as if I've never played this game before. Now, though, the question is, where is the correct table? And we found it. It is the engraved desk. And we're going to scribe our arcane bindings on it. So we click create, begin. We're going to look for these notation, lettering, and spell binding, and get this arcane bindings knocked out. Now let's see here if we've added. I don't think we've added any new things yet as far as these abilities go. I'm very low on my durability on this one, and so I think I'm going to be careful. Yeah, when you get low on durability and you don't have any durability increases, you see they're all decreases, then you want to avoid using the one that increases progress at the expense of durability, which is, in this case, it's spellbinding, because you don't have any way to get the durability back up at this stage. Later on, you'll have some durability increases you can use to recover from that, but at this level, you don't have any way to do that. So, just a word to the wise there. All right, let's turn in with Talwith. We got another level out of that. You'll notice that I still have 8.1 vitality left, and I'm at level 6. That means I'm getting double XP right now for these things. So we're going to accept this book, see what it can make. Corrosive Blast, Elm Dining Chair, Elm Short Bow, Evade, Fashioned Malachite Earring, Fashioned Tin Tablet, Forged Tin Executioner's Axe, Forged Tin Greatsword, Greater Rot, Intervene, Jum Jum Cookies, Jum Jum Pistol Pop, Lesser Arcane Remedy, Lightning Shock, Mind Blast, Phantasmal Blast, Primitive Elm Bookshelf, Rawhide Leather Backpack. Just to point this out again, the backpack holds 6, the strongbox holds 8, but you can't carry those strong boxes around with you everywhere. So there you go. Those are very good for putting in the bank and places like that, the house vault. Not so good for your bag space. All right. You can also make sandblast, tailored rawhide leather gloves, tailored threadbare mitts, tin chainmail coat, tin chainmail gloves, troll chair. All right. So we'll go ahead and remember to scribe that. Move forward with this. Seeking a profession 5. He says, good work. From pure magic to pure might, let us turn your training to the creation of weapons and heavy armor. Weaponsmiths are masters of metallic weaponry, including swords, axes, daggers, and hammers. Only the most foolish adventurer would dare explore dangerous territory without a well-made weapon at the ready. Armorers are crucial when it comes to preparing fighters and adventurers for battle. The longevity of even the greatest soldiers is dependent upon the skill of the armorer who equipped them. Even though I am having you create a tin greatsword, you will get a taste of what the forge has to offer for either class. And I say, I will start on that now. And it says I need to smith a forged tin greatsword. And so, we'll go here. We're going to just look up tin greatsword. There it is. And we need 5 coal for this. So, we go to our handy dandy merchant right here. And we get coal. Coal will be used for armor smithing and weapon smithing. So, we need basic coal. And we need 5 of them. So, 5. Alright. And so, the forge is back in this room. Alright. Start this. And we kind of have gone over the page here. So, half of it's on this side, half of it's on that side. This is the one that reduces durability at the, or increases, I should say, progress at the expense of durability. I think we're going to just mostly avoid using that right now to make sure that we don't lose the item to third tier instead of a first tier. So we'll only use that to counter if there's an event, and otherwise we'll stick to the other ones. Alright, so that made level 7. Moving right along, I think this is probably... well, we still have 6.2 vitality left. Alright, here's our TradeSkill Profession. Returned and spoken. Okay, I don't think... yeah, we didn't get any new recipe books yet. So, we have accept quest, and he says, the armorer will focus on heavy armor, but a tailor will focus on the creation of light armor. Tailors provide quality protective leather and cloth equipment for those adventurers who prefer to wear light armor. They also craft backpacks and other items from cloth or leather. Show me that you can create a tailored rawhide skullcap, and I will continue your training. I say, I will start on that now. Alright. And so it says I need to sew a tailored rawhide skullcap. So we're going to go again to the recipe book and rawhide skullcap. There it is. We need 5 filament for this. So pop down here and type in filament. And there it is. We need 5 of them by quantity of 5. Now the sewing tables are in this room here. The first one you come to, really, as far as an open area. So, okay. Create this, begin, and here's our sewing buttons. This is the one we're going to mostly avoid, and these two should both be clickable. This is the one that, actually, this is the one we're going to mostly avoid, sorry about that. That was exceedingly fast, unexpectedly fast. Alright, cool. We go talk to the trade skill delegate again. It's right up here. And that's going to give us Artisan's Essentials Volume 7. Go ahead and accept that, see what it's got in it. Alright. Aid, Amplify, Aspect of Thought. Assault, Balm, Blazing Strikes, Bloom, Boon of the Shadows, Cobra Circle, Combat Treatment, Divine Circle, Elemental Cover, Enfeeble, Ensnare, Favor of the Dead, Forged Tin Maul, Forged Tin Morning Star, Generic Elm Chair, Healing, Hold, Intimidation, Jump High, Power of Mind, Primitive Elm Chair, Repulsion, Root's a good one, Salve, Sickening Circle, Sign of Classification, Spikes, Sybil's Slowing Chant, Tailored Rawhide Leather Pants, Tailored Rawhide Leather Tunic, Tailored Threadbare Blouse, Tailored Threadbare Pantaloons, Tie, Tin Chainmail Leggings, Tin Vanguard Sabatons, Troll Wooden Crate, Verlian's Keen of Slowness, Weakness, Whirl, and White Tea. So a little smattering of things there. And we'll accept the next quest, which is number 7. You're progressing nicely. Another way that an adventurer can protect themselves is with a sturdy shield. Woodworkers are skilled crafters creating staves, bows, and arrows for the defense of their allies, as well as musical instruments for the higher pursuits of art and entertainment. They also craft powerful totems that possess restorative properties. Show me that you have what it takes to be a woodworker, and return to me with an elm round shield. So I say I'll start on that now. So we'll look and see what we need to make a round shield. Okay, we need 5 sandpaper for this. So I'm going to hop on down and look for sandpaper. Regular old sandpaper. We need 5 of them. Alright, and then we need a woodworking table, which is right here. So here we go on that, and here are our 3 things. That is success in progress, here is just progress, and this is the one we're going to avoid for now that sacrifices durability for progress. Or it's going to be the event that we have to counter constantly as another option. There we are, and time to go speak with another trade skill delegate. Or the same trade skill delegate in this case. Turn that in, and we have the meager harvesting bag, which holds 10 items, which is useful at this level. Now, we're on seeking a profession number 8. We're going to accept that. He says, well done indeed. While you still have the sandpaper calloused hands, you should see if you're interested in carpentry. Carpenters are much valued by their customers, particularly homeowners. With their superb knowledge of craftsmanship and sculpting, there is no household furnishing they cannot create. A sturdy chair is always a welcome addition to any home. Show me that you can make a primitive elm chair. And I say I will start on that now. One note about carpenters is that while they do make furnishings, they also are the ones who make the boxes. So the strong boxes I showed you, and also salesman's crates, which can be used in your house to, they're just broker-only boxes that hold significantly more than a strong box does of the same level. And there are also specialized sales crates, like jewelry box, for instance, that holds even more of one specific type of thing, in that case jewelry, than a salesman crate would. So definitely keep those in mind when you're choosing classes. So let's see here. We need to make a primitive elm chair. So let's see what we've got here. Elm chair. And we only need 1 sandpaper for it. So we'll come down here, we'll buy our sandpaper. And here's our woodworking table. Alright, that is the one we're going to avoid, the dovetail joint. Wait for a moment. There we go. Wait in between beats, if that makes sense. Like there's rhythm to this, and if you listen, then you can kind of tell when it is done a tick, and that's when you want to jump in with your crafting abilities, so that you don't click at the wrong time and end up missing a counter. But I have failed, as a matter of fact, because I made an elm dining chair instead of a primitive elm chair. That's because I didn't scribe my volume 7 here. So let's give that another shot. It's okay. I've got an extra chair. It's fine. So we need a primitive elm chair, and we need another sandpaper. Fortunately, the sandpaper salesman is right beside us. No problem. No problemo. Alright. Try this again, but this time we're going to do it right. Alright, still going to avoid that dovetail joint for the most part. Ooh, that was a big hit right there. No bueno. It would be good if we had, one of these events to kind of give us a bit of a boost so that we don't lose this item. Alright, that was a close one there. Okay, and now back up to our handy-dandy trade skill delegate right here. So, we get Artisan Essentials Volume 8 from that. And then we're on seeking a profession number 9. He says, very nice. The last profession that I could teach you is jewel crafting. Jewelers create talismans and jewelry. These valuable items protect the wearer from harm and can increase the physical attributes of the adventurer. Show me that you can create a lead hoop, and your training will be complete. Alright. So, lead hoop it is. So, we need to tap that in so that we can learn that we have failed to scribe Artisan's Essentials Volume 8 once more. Okay, we'll examine it. It has Beckon, Blazing Strike, Blinding Rays, Bruise, Deafening Blade, Decree, Dirty Tricks, Elm Bedside Table, Elm Dining Table, Fashioned Lead Hoop, Fast Strike, Forged Tin Battle Hammer, Forged Tin Mace, Gas Cloud, Growl, Impose, Jum Jum Trail Mix, Lashing Gaze, Locusts, Lore's Shuddering Song, Ogre's Swill, Rawhide Leather Quiver, Rawhide Leather Sack, Shout, Singing Blade, Sleet, Spirit Totem of the Beetle, Spirit Totem of the Frog, Steel Swipe, Storm of Colors, and Storm of Lightning, Tarvan's Confounding Chorus, Thrust, Tin Vanguard Barbute, Tin Vanguard Spalders, Torture, and Trap. Alright, now we're going to actually scribe that sucker and find out that we need more coal. Alright, coal. We need 4 of them, so we'll buy quantity for there's great calamity going on in my background here. I'm at my son's cards and comic shop again, so definitely some sounds happening. Let's see here. Fashioned lead hoop is made on a workbench, and that's right here. So there we go. There's our part that we want to avoid that trades durability progress. And we'll wait for a second, and then we'll go in. It's sort of like when you're a kid and there's like the we used to call it like a merry-go-round or something. Is what we used to refer to it as, even though it wasn't actually like a circus merry-go-round. But it was at parks. and people would be spinning on it, and then if you wanted to jump on in the mid-spin, then you'd have to like time it so that you could jump on and grab the rail as you jumped onto it. So this feels kind of like that to me. Like if you miss and you're out of sync, you have to wait and get back into sync before you can join in. I'm gonna miss this one. Only make a tier 3 version of it. But it doesn't really matter because I just hit level 9. And I'll come back to this because I need to, at this point, choose my crafting profession. I don't know what I want to do in that regard. So let's first of all see what we have in the way of classes in the guild that are high level. Alright, so we want to list off all of the different possibilities here. Got my handy dandy sheet of paper, and so we're just gonna go, okay, so we've got provisioners, jeweler, armor, weaponsmith, carpenter, tailor, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm at 6 right now. Sage, alchemist, and what am I missing? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, woodworker, of course, yes, woodworker. Alright, so those are the options. And I'm going to cross out things that we have at least level 50 of. So provisioners out. Armorers out. Sage. Alchemist. Carpenter. Nope, carpenter is level... Boy, I lost it there. Sage and carpenter are still in. Alright, we'll add them back. Okay. I am going to knock out jeweler because I already have a jeweler. So we're down to weaponsmith, carpenter, tailor, sage, or woodworker as options. Well, with those options on the board, I personally lean toward woodworker because Copernicus needs arrows, but I think I'm actually going to see if we can do a vote on it. We'll do like a poll. I think that might be a fun way to do it. That's how I chose the class of this character. Was from vote, so I may as well choose the crafting class that way as well. So I'm going to hop over and set up a poll real fast. And that way you guys can just kind of vote on it, and that would be that way you guys can just kind of vote on it. That would be that way you guys the wrong thing here. Also, that's a the wrong thing. Wow, that was the wrong page. I'm gonna figure this out. It's gonna happen. Had like an endless loop there. I felt like I was in like a hall of mirrors and doing the, you know, eternal mirror thing. Ah, there we go. Poll, that's the one we want. Let's see. We'll say, what crafting class should I choose? And then I'm going to go ahead and give the options as the ones that we're missing a good representation of in the guild, which is weaponsmith, carpenter, tailor, sage, and woodworker. So, there we go. Start that poll, and I'll come back over here and give that a few minutes. And in the meanwhile, I'm going to come over here and just show you the broker. At the broker, when you don't have a house, you only have one slot. That's not great, because you can put bags in the slots and increase the amount that you can sell on the broker by a good bit. And of course, the more slots you have, the more you can put on the broker. I'm just showing you this as an example because honestly, I'm going to probably want to use much larger containers on my broker, and as previous mentioned, salesman crates hold significantly more. So if we look up for funsies, salesman crate, you can see here's these ebony ones. They hold 60 slots. So compared to my my bag here that holds 14 slots in this case, 60 slots is massive. But then if we look, as I mentioned, the jewelry, I think it's a jewelry box is what it's called. And we look at the ebony jewelry box, which is of the same tier, that holds 80. So a salesman crate holds 60 of anything. Ebony jewelry box holds 80, but you can only put, and it tells you what's allowed in here. It says jewelry, baubles, adornments, transmuted components, and cloaks. So it can hold a variety of things. There's different boxes for different items that you want to hold. So there's an armor and shield. Let's see, I think it's armor and shield. Nope, maybe that's not how we write it. Let me see if I can just go to the advanced search. And we want a sales display. In fact, why don't we just look at all the sales displays and you can see what they look like. So here's a furniture shelf that's very cheap. It only holds house items. 3 gold is ridiculously cheap for anything cedar, but there you go. For potion cabinets, obviously that's potions, poisons, and baubles. We've got weapons racks, holds all kinds of weapons. Bag stand is for obviously bags and sales display. Armor and shield rack is pretty, armor and shields. It's pretty straightforward there. There's the salesman crates. Jewelry box we've already been over. Scroll stand, spell scrolls, books. One thing you might not realize is that it holds any kind of books, including recipe books. Pantry is obviously food, drink. And I think that might be to do it. Did we go over everything? I think that might have been all the things. But those are the different types of salesman, I guess sales display containers that you can have. For me, I'm definitely going to end up doing that for now, though. I'm just gonna, again, I'm not gonna really mess with it too much at the moment, but I will throw these items into this bag because if nothing else, it'll remove them from my bag for now so that it doesn't take up my bag space. I'll come back and price those later. For now, I think what I will do is I don't want to speak to the trade skill delegate right now because I'm level 9. And as soon as I choose my class, that's going to level me up to level 10. But first, since, we've established that I need to get a house so that I can have more slots in my house or in my broker. Let's pop over and let's just get a house right here in Willow Wood. Why not? It's better than the Baubbleshire. And so we talked to this lady here because she's going to give us a quest to get a house. She says, "Hello, Jebonabee. I am the innkeeper for this village. We've received word of your arrival and have a room prepared for you. Would you like to know more about housing?" And I say, "Please." All right. This quest is going to give me a variety of house items. She says, "What would you like to know?" I'm going to say, "How can I place an item in my house?" And she says, "To place an item in your house, you must first find the item in your inventory. Once you have done so, right-click on the item and select the place option. You will then see a tinted outline of your item in your house. When the item is highlighted green, you can place it in that location. If it is highlighted red, you cannot." And I say, "What kind of housing is available to me?" She says, "Many different kinds of housing are available in the city of Kinos. As a show of appreciation, Antonia Vale has awarded you a one-bedroom house for free at this time." I say, "Is any other housing available?" She says, "Yes. The lovely city of Kinos has houses ranging from the basic one-bedroom model on up to 5-bedroom apartments, although the most ostentatious of these are only available in the most prestigious citizens of the city." And I say, let's see, I'm going to go with, what is the market board for? She says, "The market board is a house item similar to books, beds, pets, and other such items. What sets the market board apart from the rest, however, is that once your market board is mounted on a wall in your home, you can use it to sell items to other citizens of Kinos. These items can be purchased by your fellow citizens at a broker. Brokers can be found in all primary districts of the city, as well as in the TradeSkill wholesalers." And I say, "How do I sell items using my market board?" She says, selling through your market board works the same way as directly selling through a broker. It just allows you to do it from the comfort of your home." And then I'm going to go with, what is my house for? You will find that your house has many uses, the first of which is the ability to store house items. Each house has a limit to the number of house items you can place in it. So as you gain more possessions you wish to display, you will need larger houses to do so. All right, and then I'm going to say, anything else? She says, yes. Houses have what we call vaults, which are extra storage within your house. The larger your house is, the more storage space it has available. By placing items in this house vault and using your market board, you can sell these items to other citizens of Kinos without being in your room. All right, and I'm going to say, that's enough for now, thanks. And then I'm actually going to run over, I think, and grab the said market board from this fellow over here. I think he has one.
Welcome. What can I help you with?
A market bulletin board. Let's buy that. All right, so now we're going to come over here and actually buy a house. As you can see, it's free right now, but its upkeep is 5 silver, so it's 5 silver per week. Vendor and vault slots, 6, so that's going to increase the amount of sales potential by 5 extra slots. So we will pay the upkeep, and now we have 2 weeks worth of time that we don't have to worry about it. Then we're going to enter the house. Alright, I entered my home, which completed that quest and gave me these items. I'm not a big decorator. Actually, I was given a market bulletin board. If only I'd paid attention to that before going and buying one. But that's okay. Now you know where to buy one, too. We'll stick that on the wall. Maybe not quite there. Move it a little bit. And then otherwise, I'm just going to throw these things at random locations in the house because I don't really have a lot of, I guess, aesthetic interest. The lights are cool. There we go. And we'll throw this over here. And hey, we got an extra bulletin board, so we'll stick that in this other room just in case I'm over here sometime and decide I want to check the market. Alright, so we got all that done. Now we can click here. And you can't buy things from this particular board, but you can manage your things that you have for sale. So there we are. All right, give me just a second. I'll be right back. All right, I have returned. Now, let us see if anything has occurred here on this poll. Let's see, we go view results. Ah, well, no help, guys. You're no help whatsoever. All right. Well, in that case, I'm going to go with my initial thought on it, I think, and go toward woodworker. Seems like a good idea. All right. So, in that case, we will hop over to... Oh, wow. I walked out the door and leveled up. Okay. That's because I discovered this location, Spirit of Fadark Park. That was unexpected, let's just say that. We got a new spell. It is Storm of Lightning. It looks like it is an encounter. It's an encounter AoE that's a dot, which means that it will hit everything that's in a connected group. So if you target something and other things around it have little circles under their bodies too, that means that they are grouped together in one encounter. And anything with this green background is probably going to hit all of those. Everything in that encounter is going to get hit by a green background thing. So it's an encounter AoE. And it's a pretty good one. I'm going to go ahead and move it. I would like it down here with my other damage spells. Alright, so now, I believe, choose the profession. We need to go to Kinos Harbor. Maybe. I think so. Been a little while, but I think. The guy that we need to talk to is going to be over here. I think. Maybe. Come chat with this Alfred Ironforge fellow. Okay. Yes, very good. So, he says, I'm glad you've come back for more training. It looks like you've learned quite a bit in a very short time. I can certify you in your chosen trade class. Before I begin your paperwork, I'll need your name. And I say, my name is Jebonabee. Now, it pops up this window, and it tells you what each thing is. So, craftsmen. Craftsmen become carpenters, provisioners, or woodworkers. They make furniture and strong boxes, food, drink, bows, arrows, totems, wooden weapons, and wooden shields. Outfitter. Outfitters become armorers, tailors, or weaponsmiths. They make plate and chainmail armor, heavy shields, cloth and leather armor, casual clothing, backpacks, hex dolls, and metal weapons. Scholar. Scholars become alchemists, jewelers, and sages. They make spell and combat art upgrades for adventurers, potions, poisons, and jewelry. Alright, now, of those, I think I will do the woodworking. knock that off the list. Now, you don't immediately become a woodworker just because you choose this. You become a craftsman. Then you get to choose the woodworker option as your subclass when you hit level 19. So remember to come back at level 19, choose your subclass, and that'll level you to 20. But for now, I'm going to switch over to here so that you can see character's level 9, 15% in. So I'm going to choose Craftsman and click OK. And she says, best of luck. Thanks and farewell. Now, what you note is although I didn't get the big you've leveled up screen, over here in the guild window, it says Jebonabee gained a trade skill level and is now a level 10 craftsman. And it shows the same on my bar right here, level 10, 0% in. So it took care of like 83% of a level, something like that. I don't remember exactly what the number was. Just go and click this guy and update that quest. Alright, so now with all that well in hand, I'm going to pop back over to Willow Wood and go speak to the trade skill delegate there. Willow Wood. Alright, moving right along. And the cool part is that I still have this quest turn in to get XP for, even after I've hit level 10. Alright, trade skill delegate right here. Turn that in, and you'll see that I got the Artisan's Tunic. It gives you +1 to every trade skilling skill, I guess is what we would call that. So it has a mitigation of 8. You know, if that's actually better than what I'm currently wearing as armor. Crazily enough, the Artisan's Tunic for my wizard at I think my wizard just hit level 8, and the Artisan's Tunic gives better mitigation. So there you go. Also get Artisan Essentials volume 9 from that. So I'm gonna go ahead and accept that. Talwith says, well done, well done. Now that you have had a taste of each full profession, you will need to go to Ironforge Exchange and register for which field you would like to go into. Seek out Alfred Ironforge on the docks of Kinos Harbor. If you like provisioning, woodworking, or carpentry, you will need to first hone your skills as a craftsman. If you like being an armorer, weaponsmith, or tailor, you will first need to hone your skills as an outfitter. If you like jeweler, sage, or alchemist, you will first need to hone your skills as a scholar. Of course, I've already done that part, but there's the information if you haven't done it by this time. Alright, finish that. I want to check and see what's in here. We've got Admonishing Invocation, Admonishing Smite, Assail, Bloodthirst, Brag, Brutality, Call of Inspiration, Call to Arms, Cold Wind, Forged 10 Short Spear, Forged 10 Spear, Generic Elm Table, Greater Fire, Greater Imprecation, Insight, Midnight Blade, Offend, Offensive Presence, Blonde Juice, Provoke, Rout, Shadowfire, Skew, Stare, Stinging Swarm, Sunfish Casserole, Swiftness, Tailored Laborer's Bloomers, Tailored Laborer's Vest, Tailored Woven Rawhide Pants, Tailored Woven Rawhide Tunic, 10 Sconce, 10 Vanguard Cuirass, 10 Vanguard Gauntlets, 10 Vanguard Greaves, 10 Vanguard Gussets, Unholy Hunger, and Wailing Strike. That was a long list, but we got through it, and all of those things are now available to be made. So, cool. At this point, I am level 10 though, so in addition to those, I want to hop outside and talk to the dude who should be standing there beside the beside the crafting instance, and we'll have some recipes for me. Okay, there he is. It's Osiuf Crestwriter, and he has a bunch of advanced books, none of which I have yet. So go ahead and buy a couple of these. I don't have enough money to buy very much yet, for I am a poor person so far. But I'll buy a couple. You know what? Let's go ahead and get the essentials first, because I need a Craftsman Essentials Volume 10. That's an important one to get. I guess I won't get it yet, though, because I don't have the money for that. So, alas, alack, no money. Ah, well. Anyway, there we go. And I will put on the Artisan's Tunic. Now, at this stage of poor old Jebonabee's life, there's no real need to make a crafting set and a adventuring set, because apparently the adventuring set and the crafting set are currently the same. So there we go. We'll just leave it as is. Crew's not apparently has been doing some harvesting. All right, with that goal accomplished, I'm going to switch over to Copernicus. I'm going to type in Copernicus to make it a very simple switch without having to go to the character select menu. I think I completed everything I intended to on Jebonabee at this time. All right, and here we are on Copernicus. Now, what was I doing on him, I wonder? Looks like Preordain is AFK. Thalthea and Cruise Night are on. I don't know. I know that Cruz was out harvesting, so he may not be interested in doing anything adventure at the moment. I'm not sure. Guess I'll find out soon enough. All right. In the meanwhile, I'll go and make some more things for this this writ that I'm on. Looks like I'm on Kian's Destructive Anthem. And I'm already in my crafting gear, so I don't need to switch over to that. I just need to get into my knowledge book and get going on it. Seems that I've been hit by allergies today, and I'm just sniffling and all that. Good times. Claw logged in as well. I'll say hi to him. So we have a pretty small guild, and we like to keep it that way. It's just, mostly it's people that we've been playing with for many years. And we played together on live, and all kind of came over here together, and We've, you know, just known each other a long time and played together a long time, so it's always nice to see them. There are a couple of guildmates from years ago who haven't played in a few years who have indicated to me that they may be going to come back soon to this server and come hang out and do a little bit of playing. We'll see if that happens or not. Hopefully it does, but hard to say. Alright, finish that stuff. Now we're on Shank. Let's see here. Level 34 at the moment, 28% in. So probably a few writs away from level 35. It's always good if you can to keep your crafting level a little bit higher than your adventure level, because you can't make a lot of the things. You can make the spells for the level that you are adventuring. That kind of goes neck and neck. But especially the jewelry and the weapons and the armor and things like that, you know, you may have to hit, like, say, level 38 before you can make a certain jewelry piece that you might want, and you can wear that mastercrafted jewelry piece at level 32, obviously. So it can behoove you to have your crafting level, you know, ideally even a tier higher than your adventuring level, but at the very least, some levels higher. I don't always do that, but it is a nice way to do it. That way you can make some of the things that you need for yourself. And of course, the more crafters you have, the less dependent you are on others for your crafting needs. So, and also you can make things for your friends who need them. So, just benefits all the way around, really. I'm not sure what Cruz is talking about, people selling gold. Exposed attack is the next. Oh, he must have seen something I didn't. Let's see. It is 1:03 p.m. here. I wonder what this character has in the way of things that he needs to do. Let's see here. Sort by level, because I've out-leveled a bunch of this stuff. I feel like I need to get it done. The Vital Naren's brother has been elusive. I have no idea where that body is. It hasn't been showing up in Fallen Gate in the area that I think it should be. Oh wow. Bruce just said on live server a guy gave Cygnus 50 million plat. That's crazy. I wonder how much owners are going on for live or online. Ask if he knows. I know the prices were just absolutely ridiculous on there. You can't, I mean, last time I was on there, it's almost meaningless with the kind of crazy numbers they have. It's like, you know, Dragon Ball Z numbers, you know. Huh, he says he hasn't noticed anyone selling chronos on live. Interesting. I wonder if the chrono sales are being sort of targeted at this server right now. Because I've definitely seen people selling one here. Alright, finished that writ. I'll return it in. I'm down to 1.4 vitality on this one's trade skilling. Alright, turn this in. By the way, I don't know if you've noticed, the status point reward has gone up to 3,242 for this level of turn-ins, which is really much better. It's moving up by leaps and bounds. Alright, turn that in. I'll pick up the next one. And I think I should probably get some lunch because I haven't eaten yet today, and that seems like something I probably should do. I have not been able to update this. You know, I should bug report this probably. Do /feedback. You know, I think bug would be better probably because it's actually, I think it's actually a bug in this case. So let's see. Category, well, let's say we'll go with mechanics. Subcategory, items, probably. Severity, it definitely affects the gameplay. Frequency, always happens. Let's see. Quest doesn't update. You know, we could. We're gonna leave it as is. Quest item doesn't update quest. That's what we're gonna say. And specifically, the item is a stylized dagger, I believe, that I need. But let's check the exact name of it by entering style. And so yes, it is a stylized dagger. The quest item, a stylized dagger, does not progress the quest, the Windrush Dagger, as it should when examined. And attaching the oak. It proceeds through the text as though it is updating. The quest itself does not update. And I think that's a sufficient bug report right there. And maybe that'll be seen at some point. Ha! That windowed out my screen, so too bad. Alright. Okay. So that is that. This is the Tomb of Valor. I can't do the Tomb of Valor by myself, even at level 30, even though it's great. Cleansing the Fireman's Gully, that would be something. And maybe I can see if some of my guild mates may want to do some of these things. I'm going to tell them I need to get off to eat. But I'm going to ask if anyone would be interested in doing the Tomb of Valor or Fireman's Gully when I return. Because those are a couple of things that I would like to get knocked out of the journal, and that would be good to have a group for, or at least a couple of people for. Even a duo would be sufficient for Fireman's Gully, I believe. The Tomb of Valor, we'd need more than just two for that. Alright, shut that off, and I'm going to go ahead and hop into my adventuring gear. Cruz says he's still trying to get geared up better. I'm sure that's true, because Cruz is level 13. That won't work out very well. Alright, in the meanwhile, hopping on my adventuring gear. And then I'm going to call it for now. And I will be back probably within an hour or so from now. If you enjoyed the stream, glad to see you. It was always a pleasure chatting with you guys. And if you liked it, be sure to follow, turn on notifications so you'll see when I come back on. I will see you guys later. Goodbye for now.